The scariest thing about that house was not the broken windows. It was the feeling that something outside the house was slowly gathering every single night. And the longer the family stayed there, the stronger those things became. This happened to a man named Daniel and his family after they renovated the back part of their double-story house. About a year earlier, strange disturbances had already happened there before, but after a spiritual cleansing, everything became peaceful again. For almost a year, nothing unusual happened. Then the family decided to expand the kitchen area downstairs and build a small upstairs balcony where they could place the washing machine and dry clothes. At first, the renovation seemed completely normal, but only a few weeks after the work was finished, the atmosphere inside the house slowly changed again. The upstairs suddenly felt colder than the rest of the house, especially near the balcony area. Even during daytime, the place felt strangely empty, like the air there was heavier. Then one morning, the pipe hidden inside the upstairs bathroom wall suddenly burst open for no reason. Water leaked slowly through the walls and onto the floor for hours. But the strange part was not the leaking water. The next day, thick, dark green moss suddenly started appearing across parts of the upstairs walls again. Daniel became terrified immediately because the exact same thing had happened during the previous haunting incident 1 year earlier. The moss spread unnaturally fast, crawling across the walls even in places nowhere near the leaking pipe. Within days, sections of the walls looked damp and sick, like the house itself was rotting from inside. Then the windows started breaking. The family had replaced several old windows during the renovation with large modern glass panels. One night, one of the upstairs windows suddenly cracked loudly by itself. Another shattered 2 nights later. Then another. Out of 6 upstairs windows, 4 eventually broke without anybody touching them. Sometimes the cracks appeared slowly in the middle of the night. Other times the glass exploded loudly without warning. The family stopped sleeping upstairs after that because every night the atmosphere there felt darker and heavier. Even with all the lights switched on, the balcony area never felt normal anymore. It felt occupied. Then came the night everything became truly terrifying. Daniel's mother went upstairs around evening to bring in the clothes hanging near the balcony. A few seconds later, the family suddenly heard her scream. When they rushed upstairs, they found her lying near the balcony entrance, bleeding from the head. She kept insisting somebody pushed her from behind even though nobody else was upstairs. She was rushed to the hospital immediately. But while the family was panicking inside the house, Daniel's wife suddenly looked toward one of the upstairs windows facing the balcony outside and froze completely. Standing outside near the balcony were figures, not 1 or 2, dozens of them. Dark, human-like shapes standing silently near the railing in the back alley behind the house. Some looked taller than normal people. Some looked thin and bent unnaturally. None of them moved. They were only staring directly toward the house. According to Daniel's wife, the worst part was not their appearance. It was the feeling coming from them. She said the moment she saw them, she felt overwhelming hatred pressing against her chest, like the figures wanted something from the family. Seconds later, she suddenly struggled to breathe and almost collapsed from nausea. Terrified, Daniel immediately called a spiritual master for help. During the phone call, the master instructed them not to go upstairs anymore and quickly prepare a bowl of water near the family altar downstairs. After performing prayers remotely, he told Daniel's wife to drink the water immediately. Within minutes, her breathing slowly became normal again, but the atmosphere inside the house remained suffocating. Nobody dared look upstairs after that. When the spiritual master finally arrived later that night, he immediately noticed something disturbing. Downstairs felt completely normal, but the moment he stepped upstairs, even he stopped walking for a few seconds. According to him, the upstairs no longer felt like part of a normal home. The air felt thick and hostile, especially near the balcony area. If this story gave you chills already, support the channel with a like and stay until the ending. The moment he opened the balcony door, he immediately discovered the problem. Sitting beside the balcony entrance was a small red incense burner filled with burnt incense sticks. Daniel explained that one of his mother's friends had advised them to place the incense burner there and offer incense every night so wandering spirits would not disturb the family. The spiritual master became visibly angry after hearing that. According to him, the family had unknowingly turned the balcony into an invitation point. Every night, the incense acted like a signal calling wandering entities toward the house. Combined with the renovation, the open balcony, the dark back alley, and the unusual layout of the surrounding houses, the upstairs area slowly became a gathering place. The spiritual master explained that the balcony sat in a strange position between several rows of connected houses, forming an open dead space facing directly toward darkness behind the neighborhood. To spirits, it became the perfect resting place, somewhere quiet, hidden, and constantly welcoming them with incense every night. And once enough entities gathered in one place, the energy there would become stronger and heavier. That was why the moss returned. That was why the windows shattered. That was why the family suddenly felt watched all the time. The spiritual master immediately removed the incense burner and began performing rituals throughout the upstairs area. He cleaned the moss-covered walls using ritual water, while reciting prayers softly under his breath. Then he placed several metal containers around the upstairs bathroom and rooms. According to him, the containers were meant to trap and weaken whatever was gathering there. Before leaving, he warned Daniel never to leave the upstairs balcony open and empty again. Either fully renovate it into a proper room, or stop using it completely. For the next few nights, Daniel and his family stayed downstairs while listening carefully for strange sounds upstairs. Around midnight every night, metallic knocking sounds started coming from the containers placed near the bathroom and balcony. Slow knocking, not loud banging, just repeated tapping sounds from inside the metal containers, like something trapped inside was trying to move. The sounds continued for several nights before suddenly stopping completely. When the spiritual master returned again almost a week later, Daniel's wife confirmed she no longer saw dark figures near the balcony anymore. The heavy feeling inside the house slowly disappeared too. The moss stopped spreading. No more windows shattered. No more breathing problems. Eventually, Daniel decided to fully close the upstairs balcony and turn it into a normal room instead of leaving the area open. Since then, nothing strange has happened there again. But honestly, the image that still stays in my mind is not the broken windows or the moss-covered walls. It is the thought of dozens of silent figures standing outside a family's home at night, gathering quietly in the darkness every evening, while the family unknowingly invited them closer and closer with burning incense. If you looked outside your upstairs window one night and saw dark figures silently staring back at your house, would you dare to look a second time? Let me know in the comments, and follow for more true horror stories.